I'm Jacob Neuenswander. This is my ride and this is my story. The truck, we started out, ended up buying it. It was a previous show truck down in Lakeland, Florida from a guy named Michael Freeman. He basically had it for 6 years, took very, very good care of it. And I somehow got in contact. I seen it was a show truck. I had some things done to it. I posted on the internet, and with today's social media, I got a phone call right away. Michael called me and was very excited that I'm going to fulfill his dreams. Unfortunately, he had kids and had to grow up, so he ended up selling the truck, and it bounced between one other owner, and I ended up getting my hands on it. The truck was pretty much the same. I think I was 18 at the time, 17, and I didn't have much money to just dump into this truck. Being only a 17-year-old, I was working at a pizza place. I was actually a manager there for Padrone's Pizza when I was in high school. I was working like 38 hours a week. That's all they'd let me work because of labor laws. And I left there one night. I went out to our local town bowling alley. I bowled a couple games. We had a crap ton of rain, just like, it's like here, the weather's crazy. So I come across one of our backcountry roads I always go down. I come across the bridge, no high water signs, and boom, there's high water. I bounced between two ditches, went through the golf course fence, and hit the biggest tree on fairway 13 that they had. And so that kind of left me, well, there goes the truck. We're totaled out, start over, what do you do? Insurance company comes, they're like, it ain't totaled. They checked the frame wasn't bent, just front end damage on the passenger side. So that's where it started, man. It just started, I needed someone to paint this. You're not gonna find everyone to do this anytime, and around this area especially, there's not too many people that do this. I ended up getting some contact with a guy that did some airbrushing. And I was confident enough, as long as my stepdad as well, we're both confident enough we could lay the base coats down and get the tape and get the design, but we need someone to do the factory, the pinstriping and the airbrushing and the shadowing to match, and to add more things. We decided to re-clear the whole truck. So that's how it began. We just started long nights and doing it after work and painting and messing up and having to fix things, and that's how it kind of just took off. And after that, I got the truck pretty much where I wanted look-wise, as on the paint. And I thought, well, the door panels, it'd be sweet to do door panels. So the next year we did the door panels, and I got that all done. I had the interior done. I started focusing on that. After the interior and all that things were done, I thought, well, I was driving a show one time and I got beat by a Duramax, and I'm like, man, this ain't cool. This ain't cool at all. So that's where my license plate come from, and all my buddies call it, it's a going show. I started getting some horsepower. I teamed up with the Fire Punk Diesel guys down in Plain City, which they're doing really great with their business and, their drag trucks and that. Started, became friends with them, doing a little bit of paint work on the side with them guys. And, they're like, hey, let's make this thing fast. It's like, man, I don't have much money, hey, I'll try to throw my paychecks at it and see what we get. So we started out, we started at 412 horse. Is what we started at with just a tune, and we worked our way up to 550. Then we went to 657, then 657 to 736, and then from 736 I think we went to 840 something, and then we said, man, there's more left in it, so we ended up doing 903. Well, on the 903 horse, it was 903 horse, 1,708 foot-pounds of torque, and on that pole, thank the Lord, there was a small thud that we had heard. So we shut the truck off, shut it down hot, just had to do it, Pulled the head off of it, because, we thought the head gas was pulled the head off of it. The exhaust valve, the seat had actually failed, and the valve was laying on top of the piston. I pulled 6 exhaust seats out with my pinky finger. Me and my buddy Daniel Hartman, he owns Hartman Diesel Performance as well. Me and him pulled them out, and we ended up getting the head work fixed, took it back down there, and we did 934, 1760 something. And that's where it's at right now. That was also on a 35-inch tire. So that's, with a smaller tire, there's a big difference in horsepower when you start getting the bigger tires. Anyway, so that's where that started. So we got the horsepower there. So now we had it all done up. And so I started going to more truck shows. And the first one I won and really did good, I went down to TS Performance Show. And that's a huge show down in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And I took best show down there. And that really raised me up, like, holy smokes, hey, it's accomplished, I'm actually winning something, maybe, it's doing something right, and that's when it kicked in. So then I had a really good year. That was in 2014, won and went and placed about every place I went to, and I thought, well, I can't bring back the same truck for next year. That just ain't right, I'm not gonna bring it back and try to keep winning, I gotta change something. So I had the bright idea in February, in the middle of a garage floor, to jack the truck way up in the air, because I don't have a lift. I jacked it way up in the air, put it on jack stands, and pulled the whole undercarriage out, axles, whole suspension. That's when we went ahead and went with a 5-inch lift from rough country, and the long arm lift, and painted all that I did, and put it all back together without trying to scratch it, which is a very, very DD task in its own. After that was done, I went to the shows that year, did real well, and that was in 15, and towards the end of it, I really wanted to place at another show, so I thought, man, we got to change something else. So before Lima last year, I tore the doors off the truck and had the bright idea to pull it through the design, through the cab and through the door jams, and do that. I learned a lot of pointers when pulling doors off and hinges. Make sure you have marks to where you know where they go. So I had 12 hours in just realigning my doors to get the gaps back right, to get them to shut. But without the good friends, that I have, and like I said, my girlfriend, my stepdad, the family, and just all my high school buddies I graduated with, without them, this thing wouldn't even be where it's at right now. I mean, the long hours they put in, the things I make them do, the places we got to go, it's neat because it brings us all together. I'm Jacob Neuenswander. I'm from Bluffton, Ohio. This is my ride, and that was my story.